magical.
Frozen 2. The fans were definitely present in the theater for Frozen 2. It's been a long time for a sequel. For a lot of the kids that grew up loving Frozen.
Yes, I think that this movie is definitely a natural progression into the next level of a story between Elsa and Anna and Arendelle and everybody. Because, you know, it's like, where do you go from there? I mean, you had a happy ending in the first one, so now you kind of have to elevate the second one. And I think they did it perfectly because you kind of go into what is happening with Elsa. And that's great.
And it definitely does kind of follow the same progression in terms of sequels to Disney films, in my opinion, that the music just does not hit as good as it hit in the first film. So yes, this one is subject to that criticism as well, right, in my opinion. I can't totally remember anything about the songs other than two things: Panic at the Disco, Weezer. The Panic at the Disco song, Into the Unknown, I really enjoy. If it takes over for Let It Go as being the one everyone's talking about, which I highly doubt, Let It Go is a whole new level, this is the one that I'm happy with because I enjoyed it. It's something I could listen to. When it comes to Weezer, there's another song within this film that I think a lot of people, it's gonna, in terms of the style that it's incorporated into the movie, pure 80s.
Yeah.
And for that, if they were doing it like, you know what? We're gonna have some fun here.
And it does look like they did have a lot of fun when they were doing the songs, especially that scene. If you know, you're gonna look at it and you're like, oh, okay, that's the scene that you're talking about. I also think that, in my opinion, Kristoff himself was very underutilized. He didn't, but at the same time, this wasn't really his story to begin with. It was more so Elsa and Anna's story again, which is fine. So that way he was just kind of on the sideline, but we were focusing more so on, you know, the sisters.
And that song definitely is also a part of Kristoff's contribution to the film. So yeah, Kristoff's kind of a joke throughout the whole thing. He is set up for the jokes. The one I'm really surprised that was my takeaway as my favorite, Olaf. Olaf's analysis of situations throughout this movie isn't for the kids. And I don't mean that in terms of adult content. I mean that in terms of he is on a much higher level in analyzing the situations where it's like, yes, you're speaking to us right now, Olaf. The kids have no clue what you're talking about. We got you. The whole movie.
This is something that I really like about Disney movies in general, and like Pixar movies in general too, is that they bring a level of, yes, this is an animation movie, so it is geared towards children, but at the same time it does have some adult, you know, the way that they analyze and let you know what's going on in the story is very much adult, and they don't dumb it down essentially for the kids to understand. They just keep it the way it is, and I'm sure kids understand that what's going on too. So that's what I really like, is that they don't talk down. They just tell them how it is, and
tell you the story.
And they do it with a cute little snowman called Olaf.
Yep.
Say after the credits.
That's right, the credits. So there is a little something after the credits, so if you want to stay through it, the song is definitely fun to listen to because you get both Panic at the Disco and Weezer. Yeah. But right after the credits, a nice little thing that they do, it's a reprise of something that does happen in the movie earlier that I loved, and that is the silly stuff that made all the kids in the theater laugh, including us.
It's great, and so having new characters too in the story allows for bigger things, and I think that they brought the characters very well together, and of course I think they ended it very well with this one too, and it does you know, allow for other stories, so it's exciting and I enjoyed it very much.
And they get pretty serious with it as well. It is kind of fun and games, and it's like, we're on a mystery, let's figure out what's happening. For majority of the movie, then it hits you and it's like, oh dang, you're trying to make everybody in here cry now, and they hang on to that feeling for a while. Something reminiscent of a film Disney already did not too long ago, but they take a page and now they're like, hey kids, now it's your turn. But for that, you know, they executed it properly. I do wish we kind of got a little bit more when it came to some of the other characters that are new to this series. But at the same time, like you said, there could be more tales to be told in the world of Frozen. I'd go back to watch them if it involved more of these characters. However, seeing Kristoff kind of take a step back from the first movie to this one did kind of hurt a little bit, but either way, I feel like there's a chance for him to kind of step it up again in the future.
And I'm sure that they'll come out with those little tiny shorts that they do for their movies, and this one definitely sets it up to have, like, to do stuff with the other characters that you normally didn't get in the main story and do little stories with them.
But either way, guys, what did you think of Frozen? Let us know in the comments below. Personally, I would give it a 4 out of 5. There were some draggy moments for me that kind of took me out of it. I started thinking about other things, and I was like, oh, I should pay attention to the movie. Some kids that were in the theater ended up getting up and leaving while their parents stayed and watched, and she had to get up and go get them and bring them back because it got closer to the end, and it drags on a little bit. Yeah. But either way, they did end up keeping me entertained the entire time. So 4 out of 5 for me. I
would go 4 out of 5 too, because it didn't was like wow, like it didn't wow me, but at the same time I do enjoy the story that they created for Frozen 2, and there are certain parts where it did lag, and I did hear myself. I did wandered away from the story, and then I was like, wait, I have to come back again. So
10 out of 10. I love Frozen, and they didn't mess it up, huh?
So with that being said, thank you guys. You can like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, started.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kicking the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Gets us where we need to go. Check out all the reactions we've done recently. The Mandalorian, Doctor Who, Supernatural. We just went to Lights of the World in Tucson, Arizona. Check out the vlog that we shot there. Thank you guys so much. And as always,
now it's time to say goodbye.
And this party is over, and we can finally let it go. Bye. P.S. Bruni is amazing.
They're so cute.
So